Interesting. I'm looking for, oh, sorry, just heard recording in progress. Sorry, that's the new edition, I think, from Zoom. It now tells you when it's recording. But anyway, good morning, good morning. And for those of you who are going to watch this on catch up later on, welcome. Yes, so today's class, we are looking at the core muscles. Now, it's just ironic that last week we were focusing on the muscles at the back of the body. Today we're flipping it around and we're going to be working mainly on the core muscles. We are going to work other muscles as well, but we are going to focus our attention all on the core. And I'm sure a lot of you know this, but I'm going to very quickly run through and let you know. The core is made up of 5 muscles actually. So we have the rectus abdominis, down the center line that we all see on these very well-built men. The Full Monty comes to mind, maybe not that film actually, no, because they weren't so well built, were they? But you know what I mean. So the rectus abdominis, we have the transverse abdominis that, let me sit back a little bit so you can see it. The transverse abdominis that run around like a ring, like a corset around our body. So they start at the base of your spine and run all the way around to the front. And they're quite deep-seated, the transverse abdominis. The rectus abdominis sit on the surface. That's why we can see that 6 or the 8-pack quite well once they're developed. And the transverse abdominis, which is like this circle around our waist, they sit quite deep in our body. And then we also have the internal and the external obliques. So these kind of connect the hips up towards the ribs. So that's what kind of gives us that nipped-in waist when they're developed. And then we also have some very deep spinal stabilizers, which I can't remember the name of, but that's generally the 5 steps. It's the rectus abdominis, the transverse abdominis, the internal and external obliques, and then these deep-rooted spinal stabilizers. And today we're going to activate all of them. Woohoo! We're not just going to do lots of crunches, although we will be doing some crunching to shorten and tighten those muscles, but we're also going to be doing lots of lengthening as well, because that's important, isn't it? For all of our muscles, we want all of our muscles to be flexible. We don't just want them to be super tight, because then they injure when you do try and stretch them. So we're going to do some stretching about those muscles today. We're going to do some contracting of the muscles and generally getting into them. So all I'm going to say is throughout the session, all the way through today, try and keep your abdominal muscles engaged. So I will give you some reminders. So that generally would be drawing the navel towards the spine and then lifting the navel up towards your rib cage. Now, just by doing that, just navel into spine, lifting up to the rib cage, that alone sort of activates the transverse abdominis, the internal and external obliques, and also it engages some of these spinal stabilizers, and to a small degree starts to do the rectus abdominis, this 6-pack as well. So just remember to do that. Keep the core engaged, tummy, the belly button in, lifting up to the ribs as often as you can throughout today, just to really maximize and wake up the core. So we're going to start first by switching our core muscles on, but we're going to start on our back. So if you're not there already, come down over onto your mat. And we're going to start with feet as wide as your mat and drop your knees in towards one another and then lay down onto your spine. So with the knees dropped in and the feet nice and wide, this just helps us to relax the lower back to begin with, which is rather lovely. And then I'd like you to bring your hands onto your belly. Just rest the hands on the lower belly, so the elbows might be down on the floor. And you can close your eyes now if you wish. Just start just by relaxing down into the mat. Drop all of your body weight. Just feel as if your skin and your muscles are falling away from the bones. So let's just start with switching everything off first of all. So that includes softening the shoulders, the neck, and your face muscles as well. Okay. So we're just going to begin with some lovely, slow, deep, regular breaths just to bring some oxygen into our body this morning. So inhale through the nose. Try and draw that breath down into the base of the lungs so your belly rises. And as you exhale through the nose, notice the belly falls beneath your hands. So inhale, belly rises, and exhale, belly falls. Just continue with that nice, easy rhythm. Make it a nice, slow rhythm. A lovely, slow, deep breath in, belly rises. Exhale, relax it all out. Just replacing that air that you have in your lungs. Getting rid of the stale air, the carbon dioxide, and replacing it with some lovely fresh oxygen coming into our bodies first thing in the morning. Powering up all of our cells. Our brain takes about 50% of every breath or every oxygen that you inhale. The brain takes about 50% of that oxygen. It's the most hungry, rich organ in our body for oxygen. And thank goodness it is, because we need it to function. So every time you breathe in, the brain is taking 50% of that breath or the oxygen in. And of course, as you exhale, you're just emptying out, clearing out the lungs of all that metabolic cellular waste. So particularly, of course, the carbon dioxide and nitrogen is also a little bit of our exhalation. Just continue with those slow couple of breaths. I'm just going to realize I've left the music on repeat and I don't want to annoy any of you. So just bear with me a minute while I take that off repeat. You don't want to hear that all the way through. And hopefully that's not too loud. Okay, alrighty. All right, so we're going to change our breathing pattern a little bit now. I'd like to take a breath in for 3 seconds and exhale for 6. We're going to do that twice. And then breath in for 4, exhale for 8, breath in for 5, exhale for 10. And we do each of those twice. Now, if you can't quite manage to inhale, say to 5 seconds, just inhale as much as you can and then exhale as long as you can. Now, on each of these exhalations, we're just going to draw the belly button towards the spine so we start to switch the core on. So when you're ready, inhaling for 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now your belly should really be pulling towards the spine. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4 this time. Exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely, well done. Now just going to return back to normal, slow, deep breath. Get a nice, easy rhythm going again with your breath. See if you can take equal length inhale and exhale. So you might want to perhaps just count how long your inhalation takes you and then see if you can match that length with your out breath. This is called Samariti Prana, where we take the same length inhale and exhale. And of course, each breath is very slow and deep. You want to try and breathe down into the base of your lungs. So your belly inflates, and then as you exhale, just relax the diaphragm, let the breath empty. Now, interestingly, when we breathe down into the base of our lungs, it stimulates some calm receptors that we have at the base of the lungs. Whereas if we're upper chest breathers, there's a lot of sort of fight or flight receptors at the top of the chest. That's what makes us feel a little anxious and releases cortisol and those stress hormones. So always try and breathe down into the base of the belly, get those calm receptors stimulated. Switches on the parasympathetic nervous system, our relax and rest nervous system. Alrighty, just one more breath in and out here, then we will begin to move a little bit. I know it's nice and relaxing down here. It'd be nice to stay the whole lesson. That's another day. Alrighty, now let's bring the knees over your hips now. So feet up off the floor, knees over the hips, and bring your fingertips just behind each ear. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, squeeze the belly button down to your spine. So we anchor the belly first, and then lift the elbows up towards the knees. So just doing a traditional little crunch here. So rest the weight of your head in your hands. So we're not pulling the head up. Let the head just rest back into the hands. And if you're sort of looking between or towards your legs, you'll notice straight away that the rectus abdominis, the core muscles, have switched on. And then as you inhale, lower the head down. Keep the knees where they are, but just lower the head down. Okay, relax here a moment. Take another breath in. Exhale, breathe out, squeeze the belly button down to the spine, and then lift the elbows back up again towards the knees. Now you can stay here with hands behind the head, or you can just reach the arms either side of your legs. So you reach the arms forward on the outside of the legs, and you can hold it here. But if that's any strain in your neck, then again, bring the hands back behind the head and let the weight of the head just drop into the hands. It's the core muscles, of course, that should be doing the work here for us, not the neck muscles. So just taking one more breath in and out here. Lovely, release back down. Keep the legs where they are. So the knees should be just above your hips. You might need to perhaps just rearrange so the knees are directly above the hips. And then bring your arms straight up to the ceiling. So the arms are just in line with your shoulders. Now, if you've noticed your lower back has arched up off the floor, just gently draw the belly button back down towards the spine and lift it up towards the rib cage slightly. So this isn't squeezing right so tight that you feel as if you can't breathe. This is a very sort of maybe 60–70% engagement of belly to spine, and then lifting it up towards the ribs. So you should feel, even in this position, that some of your core muscles are switched on. So you can stay here. This is a good one, just to keep those muscles growing a little stronger. Or to add on to this, you can take a breath in, and then as you exhale, extend the left leg and the right arm. So the right arm extends back behind you, left leg just hovers above the ground. Again, watch that your lower back hasn't popped up away from the floor. And then as you inhale, you bring the arm and leg back into their original place. Exhale, other side. Right leg hovers, left arm hovers above the ground. Just watch that the belly is engaged. And then come back to the center, inhale. Exhale, other side. So left leg, right arm. So we're doing this really slowly and controlled, so we can focus. As you inhale, come back to the center. Now we want you to focus, exhale, right leg, left arm. So we're really sort of focusing here on the core stabilizing muscles, preventing the lower back from popping up. Inhale back to center, exhale other side. Now watch that the back of the neck hasn't crunched up either, so keep the back of the neck nice and long. Come back to the center. Exhale, other side. We'll just do one more on each side. So really keeping core muscles engaged. I'm wobbling, you might be wobbling as well. Inhale, knee and arm back to center. Exhale, other side. This is the last time on this one. Okay, lovely. Come back to center. Hug the knees into your chest. Have a little stretch out the lower back. Okay, now bring the hands onto the back of your thighs, and just we're going to rock ourselves up to a seated position. So come up however you wish, you don't have to roll up, but come up onto your seat with the feet on the floor and start the hands behind the back of your thighs. We're making our way into Navasana bow pose. So start by lengthening up through the spine. Draw the tummy in towards the spine and lift it up towards the rib cage, and then lean back slightly. So you start to really feel the rectus abdominis down the front center of the belly. You start to feel those begin to engage. Now you keep the feet on the floor if you wish. This is still working the core. Or if you want to take it a little harder, you let the feet float up and the ankles and knees are in this parallel straight line. And again, the shoulders relax down. You can keep the hands just lightly touching the back of the legs. So you're not ripping hold of the legs, just a very light touch. And again, if you wanted to go another stage, you just release the hands and bring them forward in front of you. Now keep the back nice and tall here. It's very easy for the back to want to round and collapse a little bit, but try and keep the back nice and long and the chest sort of just being floating up towards the ceiling. So relax the shoulders. Just take another couple of breaths. Now the tummy in and lifting up towards the ribs. Well done, one more breath. Well done, everybody. Let's place the feet down on the ground already. So I think we've warmed up some of the core muscles, wake them up a little bit. Let's come around onto your hands and your knees. I'm going to do a little bit of stretching out of the core muscles now with some cat-cows. So knees under hips, hands under shoulders, fingers nice and wide, and elbows just a little bit soft here. And then when you're ready, drop the belly, lift the gaze, so you feel that lovely stretch from your chin all the way down to your belly button. Or you can feel the little muscles you've been working already. And then exhale round and tuck everything under. Now suck your front body up into your back body. So the belly lifts, the heart lifts up into the back of the body as you press into the hands. And then drop the belly, lift the gaze as you inhale. Shoulder blades just slide down your back a little bit so we don't crunch the neck. And then exhale round and tuck everything under. And again, one more time, drop the belly, lift your gaze, just enjoy that lovely stretch along the front of the body. And then exhale, round, tuck everything under. Okay, just come back to neutral just for a moment and just move your hands up the mat, maybe a couple of inches. So your hands are going to be in front of where your shoulders are, just a couple of inches, taking the hands slightly further forward, and tuck your toes under. Now do your cow pose again, so drop the belly, lift the gaze as you inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to lift up into plank pose. So lift the knees, hopefully by now the shoulders should be over the wrists when you lift up. So just holding here just for a couple of seconds. So neck nice and long, kick through the heels. Lift your thigh muscles up into the back of the legs, lift the belly up into the lower back. And just puff up through the upper back as well so we don't sink between the shoulders. Puff up through the upper back. All right, take a breath in. Exhale, lower the knees down. Inhale, cow pose. Lift the gaze. Exhale, into plank. Tummy strong. Inhale, knees down, cow pose. Exhale, plank. Just a couple more. Inhale, knees down, cow pose. Exhale, plank. Plank. I don't know why that's come to me. Inhale, knees down, lift the gaze. Nice little stretch through the belly. And then exhale last time into plank pose. Hold this here just a couple of breaths. Now you can always place both knees down if you wish and do a kneeling plank, but just make sure your shoulders stay over your wrists so your abdominals are still engaged. Okay, one more breath in and out. That is fabulous. Now let's place the right knee back down onto the ground. We're going to come into a side cat. So right knee down on the floor and just extend your left foot so it's in line with the right foot. So I've just brought the left foot down onto, how do I describe this? Hopefully you can see this. I could take forever describing this. Maybe it's best just to say, have a look. So left leg is down the end of the mat and the left foot is flat on the floor. Now lift the right arm up and over. So we're going to pull that over your head. So now we're having a really good length and good stretch out through the external and internal obliques that run down the side of your waist. Now draw the belly button back in towards your spine, just in case it's switched off. Let's switch it back on again. And if you wanted to, you don't have to. If you want to, you can lift that left leg up, just let that float up so it's level with your hip. It doesn't need to go any higher. Again, that just challenges your core muscles to keep us balanced here. So you can look down to the floor or out to the side, whatever feels best for your neck. Now keeping the belly muscles engaged, the next stage, if you wanted to go to it, is we're going to bring that left elbow and left knee to touch. So you bring the two in together and squeeze and crunch and shorten through the oblique muscles. And then inhale, extend, lengthen. Exhale, knee and elbow. So we're moving really nice and slow. So hopefully it gives us all a little bit of time really to sort of switch that muscle on and then lengthen it as you extend, as you inhale. Exhale, squeeze, contract, contract, contract through the side waist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze together. One more time, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, last time, squeezing. Lovely. Inhale, extend again. Now keep the left leg where it is. We're going to lower the left hand down to the ground and then square your hip up so the left hip becomes level with the right again. So the left leg still lifted up. Keep the belly lifting up towards your spine because it will want to switch off. The belly muscles, I think, are probably some of the laziest muscles we have. So keep reminding yourself to keep the belly switched on. Now extend the right arm forward alongside your ear. So try and bring the bicep by your ear. You're looking down to the ground. Keep your hips square. And this will definitely begin to challenge through the belly. So focus on your breathing. Whenever we feel a little challenge, we often hold our breath. So make sure you're taking those lovely slow, deep breaths in and out. This is called sunbird pose. One more slow, deep breath. And again, inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the elbow and knee to touch, so underneath you this time. Squeeze the knee as far forward as you can. And then inhale, extend. Moving really slowly again, so we're not rocking through the lower back. Exhale, knee and elbow. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee and elbow squeezing together. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Lovely, well done. Inhale, extend again. Keep the left leg where it is, but we'll lower the right hand back down to the floor underneath the shoulder. Now a little stretch coming up. Swing the left leg out towards the left hand side and rest the foot on the floor. Soften your left knee a little bit so you don't snap the joint closed. And then just drop your hips back towards the back heel until you start to feel a really nice stretch down on that inner thigh. And just hold it there at that point. So left knee is soft a little here. Just drop the hips back. Just enjoying a little focus somewhere else on the body. It doesn't always have to be on the core. Again, we don't tend to stretch the inner thighs in everyday life when we're walking about, when we're sitting. So it is good that we do get to explore some of these parts of the body that we don't tend to use very much. This is where our energy stagnates. These places that we don't tend to move every day. This is where our energy, our prana, our life force tends to stagnate. One more breath. Lovely. Now bring the shoulders forward over the hands again. So the hip is again over the right knee. And then inhale, lift the left arm up. Look up towards that left hand, a lovely big opening posture. And then we're going to spin that left arm underneath you and spin that left hand all the way up towards the right hand side. So a little deep twist. So again, squeezing through the abdominal muscles as we twist. And then inhale, unravel, open the arm back up to the sky. Lovely deep breath in as you open up. And then as you exhale and spin under, breathing out, rotating all these muscles, the core muscles, squeezing and running around the rib cage. And then inhale, lift the arm up. I didn't mean to say core muscles running around the ribs, I meant to say core muscles running around the spine. And then exhale, threading under, going to a very deep, the deepest corkscrew that you're able to, so you really feel some of those core muscles begin to twist around the spine. And then last time again, inhale, lift the arm up. And then exhale, threading underneath. Lovely, well done. Inhale, lift the left arm up again, just open up the body, get some space back into the body. Great stuff. And then exhale, place the left hand back down onto the floor and then bring the left knee back underneath you. Let's do sunbird on the other side. So you start on all fours, extend the right leg back behind you, square your hips up. So tuck your right toes down towards the floor. This helps, I find, to square the hips up. And hopefully already you've noticed your core muscles have engaged to keep that leg out there. And then when you're ready, extend the left arm, so bicep by the ear. I'm going to spin around so I can not turn my back to you in just a moment. So you stay where you are. So coming into sunbird on this place. Now, if you've tucked your left toes under, see if you can untuck the left toes. Have the top of the foot flat on the floor. Just that tiny little adjustment makes it just a little bit more focusing on the core muscles. Your muscles then have to work rather than using your toes tucked under to help support you or to keep you steady. Now take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, knee and elbow together. So draw the knee as far forward as you can. So this really helps to crunch through the belly muscles a little bit more. And then inhale, extend and lengthen. Everything gets lengthened. And then exhale, contract. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, knee and elbow. And then one more time, inhale. And exhale. Lovely. Inhale again, lengthen, lengthen. Keep the leg where it is, place the hand down on the floor, and then swing the right leg out to the side and rest the foot down on the floor. Soften your right knee a little bit, and then drop your hips back until you start to feel that good little stretch on the inner right thigh. Inner right thigh, that's what I meant. So keep the right knee just a little bit bent here so we don't lock out the joint. Our joints are never happy when they're locked. We always should keep a little bit of softness in our joints. Another couple of breaths. So this could be a tight part of your body maybe. So it's not somewhere we tend to use very much. One more breath. Lovely. And then bring the shoulders back over the hands again. So the hip comes over the left knee. And then inhale, lift the right arm up to the sky. Take a deep breath in as you open up the body. And then exhale, spin it underneath you and thread the hand all the way up to the left side. Inhale, unwrap. Reaching up. Exhale, spinning under. Inhale, unwrap. Exhale, under. So it's going to the tightest corkscrew that you can. And then one more time, inhale. And last time, exhale. Lovely. Inhale, unwrap once again, reaching up with the right hand. And then exhale, place the hand back down on the ground and bring the right knee back onto the floor underneath your shoulders. So we're on all fours. So tuck the toes under, coming back into your plank pose again. So lifting the knees up, shoulders should be over the wrists. Press the heels away. Of course, the belly should be lifting up into your spine. Take a deep breath in plank. And then as you exhale, press back up into downward facing dog. Just take a couple of breaths here in our first down dog of the day. It's always nice, I think, to come into a first down dog because you really can have a lovely good stretch of the back body. So press into your hands, lift your hips up. And again, you might have noticed that your rib cage has kind of flared towards the ground. So draw the ribs back up into the body. And then inhale, come forward into plank again. Keeping the tummy switched on. Exhale, press back up to down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Now stay here in down dog. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, lower the knees towards the floor. So we're just going to have the knees hovering above the ground. It's called bear pose. So knees are just hovering an inch or two above the ground. Shoulders are over the hands. Remember to puff up through the upper back so you don't collapse through the shoulders. From here, press back up to downward facing dog. Breathe out. Take a breath in. Exhale, hover the knees. So tummy lifts up to the spine as you exhale. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, hover the knees. Last time, inhale, down dog. And last time, exhale, just hover the knees. Hold it here, a couple of breaths. course, the tummy should be lifting up towards the spine. Lovely. Last time, downward facing dog. Okay, let's come off our hands for a little while here. As you inhale, lift your right leg up towards the sky. And then we're going to exhale, step it all the way forward between the hands. And then lower the back knee down to the ground. Let your hips just come forward, open through the left hip flexors. Take a lovely deep breath in. And then exhale, shoot the hips back. Straighten your front leg. And you can lift the front toes up if you wish, just stretching out through the hamstring on the right side. Oh, and the calf as well when you lift those toes up. Inhale, come forward. Let the hips come forward, open through the left hip. Oh, it feels so nice. Exhale, take the hips back. Lift the front toes up. So your spine is nice and long. Last time, come forward as you inhale. And then exhale, sliding the hips back. Lovely. Okay, come forward again. So the front toes are down on the floor. Lift the back knee up, so a runner's lunge here. Now come right up onto the very tips of your fingertips here. So literally, maybe just the fingertip of your longest finger is touching the floor. All the other fingertips are up off the ground now. So just your middle finger is touching the floor. Shoulder blades down your back. Draw the tummy back up to the spine. Now keeping your hands close to the ground like this, just turn your palms so they face one another. So now the palms are facing your right ankle. Kick through the back heel, so the left leg suddenly gets a little bit more energized. And shoulder blades down your back. Now try not to lean onto that right thigh. See if you can just lift the rib cage up off the fly a little bit. Float the ribs above the thigh. Tummy engaged. We're going to come up to high lunge. So inhale, lift the arms up by your ears. Now when you lifted your arms up, you might have found that your rib cage has just popped forward. So draw the ribs back into the body and cinch your waist in here. Imagine you're putting on a really tight belt. So your waist kind of just sinks or cinches in towards the center. This is your transverse abdominis, this corset, the ring that runs around your waist. So just cinch the waist in. Take a breath in, and then from here, you're going to step that back foot forward and just rest the toes on the floor to begin with. The hands are down beside you. So we're just getting our balance here. And then lift the left knee up in front of you, lift the arms up, called one-legged Tadasana. So lifting the leg up in front of you and the arms up by your ears. Again, we have to engage the core muscles to lift that leg up. And then step back to high lunge, so rest the back toes on the ground, sweep the arms back beside you. Again, inhale, step forward, lift the knees straight up this time. If you need to touch the foot down on the floor before you lift the knee, then by all means do. Exhale, step back, arms reach back, toes rest on the floor. Inhale, come forward, lift the knee up. Exhale, back. Last time, inhale, lift up. Now keep that left knee lifted. From here, we're going to move into warrior three. So this is where you're going to start to tip your chest and upper body forward. Take your left leg back behind you and make it like a T shape with your body. So the arms start to move alongside your waist. So the fingertips point to the back of the mat. And you straighten your left leg out as you make a T shape. So the hips should be as square as possible here. So left hip drops down in line with the right. Tummy lifting up towards the spine. You have a little bit of softness in that right knee, then that right leg can absorb, or the right knee absorbs any little wobbles that you might have. One more breath. And then we're going to come to warrior two. So lower the back foot down onto the back of the mat. Bring the arms up by your ears and then spin the arms open for warrior two. You might need to do a little adjustment here. Your front heel should line up more or less with the instep of the back foot, más o menos. And the front knee should be pointing towards the little toe on the front foot. Now, because this is all about our core today, just going to ask you to bring your hands onto the back of your hips, so the palms on the back of the hips. And then gently draw the belly button towards the hands, or draw your belly towards the hands. Now keep your belly where it is, but let the arms flow back up to warrior two. And then look down your right arm. Relax the shoulders. Now you can stay here in our traditional warrior two with the belly switched on. Or slightly more challenging, you lift the left arm over your head and pour it forwards. Now if you do this, don't twist through the spine. Try and keep the left shoulder in line with the right. Now this is quite challenging for the lower back. This really does work the spine stabilizers. So if you have any lower back issues, I'm going to recommend you come back to warrior two. But otherwise, if you're happy in this extended warrior two, then just hold here for a couple more breaths. This is challenging. Did you hear me say that? Inhale, come back up to warrior two. Straighten the front leg, Trikonasana triangle pose. So press down through both feet, have nice firm roots. And then reach the right arm forward and then place the hand on your shin or maybe onto the floor if that's where you would normally reach. But we're going to have a very light touch with that right hand. So let's not sink our weight heavy onto that right arm. Very lightly touch your right leg or the floor, wherever you reach for. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. Now, as I said, have really firm pressure down through both feet. So you should feel a good anchor on both feet. And then lengthen along your spine. So the crown of the head reaches forwards. Very light touch on that right hand. So again, using the core muscles and also your spinal stabilizers to keep the spine in this position. And imagine you're doing this up against the wall. So you want the left shoulder to be touching the wall same time as the right shoulder does. One more slow deep breath. This I think is a classic one to help strengthen the external and internal obliques. And then lower the left hand down onto your hip, left hand onto your hip. Bend the right knee, we're making our way to half moon. So bend the right knee, bring the right hand down onto the floor, a couple of inches or a few, about a hand's width maybe, hand's length in front of that right foot. Now suck the belly to the spine and hop up onto the right leg. So that left leg is going to float up, level with your hip. And you might need to move the right hand forward a little bit, give you a bit more space. Now the left hip is going to draw back to try and sit on top of the right. Tummy in. And if you want to, lift the left arm up to the sky as well. So the left toes are pointing back towards you. You're kicking through the left heel. One more breath. Well done, everyone. Lower the left hand down to the ground, coming into standing splits. So left hand underneath the left shoulder. Now spin the left hip, left knee, left toes towards the ground. You're keeping that left leg lifted though. And then lift your left leg up as high as you can. So you're coming into standing splits. You're looking towards the right shin. This is just a little transition here. We're not going to hold this for too long, although it's really nice just to have this lovely deep stretch. We're going to lower that left foot down alongside the right. And then come up to standing. Finding chair pose. So left heel down on the floor, sit the hips down, arms up by the ears. So sitting down as low as you can on this imaginary chair. Shoot the hips back towards the end of the mat as if you're trying to find a chair with your bottom. So you should still be able to see all 10 toes if you glance down. So your knees should be shooting back as well behind the toes. Tummy lifts, of course. One more breath. And then lower the hands down to the ground, finding Uttanasana, deep forward fold. As you take a deep breath in, just nod your head yes. As you exhale, shake your head no. Again, nod yes on the inhale. And exhale, shake no. Taking a little breather before we do the other side. So take a deep breath in, come up onto your fingertips, half forward fold, arms straight, spine straight, belly lifts. Exhale, fold down and step your right leg all the way to the end of the mat and lower the right knee down to the floor. Let your hips come forward, breath in. Exhale, hips glide back, lift the front toes. Inhale, slide forwards, find that space, breathe into that space on your hip. Exhale, gliding back, toes lifting, spine nice and long. Inhale, open. Exhale, find that length in your spine and the hamstring on the left side. One more time, inhale, floating forwards. Exhale. Splendid. Inhale, come forward again, front foot down on the floor. Tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee up. Now kick through that back heel, so you're sending some energy down that leg. And again, come up onto your longest finger, so that middle finger, just rest on the fingertip. So if you want to, turn your palms facing one another. The shoulders slide down your back when you do that. And then inhale up to high lunge. Arms by the ears, rib cage in. Cinch your waist, so draw the waist in as if you're putting on that really small belt. Now take a breath in here as you exhale, step the back foot forward for this little one-legged mountain pose, I think this is called. Inhale, step back, high lunge, so sweep the arms back, rest the back toes on the floor, keep the tummy switched on. Exhale, lift the knee forwards. Exhale, step back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back. Use your tummy last time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, back. Actually, I lied. Sorry. Lift the knee one last time. We've got to do our warrior three. So lift the knee and then start to move to warrior three. So that T shape with the body. So stretch the arms back alongside your ribs, alongside your hips. Start to drop the body weight forward, so making this T shape. Right leg straight out behind you. Square the hips up. There you are. I just need to change sides so I don't end up with my back to you. Alrighty, from warrior three, we're going to move to warrior two. So lower the back foot down onto the floor. Front heel lines up with the instep of the back foot. Inhale, arms up, warrior two. Draw the tummy into your lower back. Again, you can stay here in warrior two. If you wanted to add that little challenge, you could pull the right arm overhead. Maybe shoulders are square. Tummy draws in. Smile. I think it helps. It sends good energy waves to the brain when you smile. Okay, inhale back to warrior two if you did take that option. And then straighten the front leg, getting ready for Trikonasana. So straighten the front leg, press through the feet, reach the left arm forward. So you want to have a nice long waist on the left side, and then place the hand down to the leg or the floor. Very light touch. Right arm reaches straight up to the sky. And again, just press through the feet, lengthen out along the spine. And so the ribs are drawing back into the body. We're doing this up against the wall, so the right shoulder should be in line with that wall. Nice long spine, lengthen through the left side of the waist as well as that right side. And then place the right hand on your hip, your right hip. We're going to make our way into a half moon pose. So bend the left knee, bring the hand down onto the floor, just slightly ahead of that left foot. And then suck the belly to the spine. You're going to hop up onto that left leg. Maybe move the left arm even further forward and let that right leg float up to half moon. So right leg is level with the hip. Your right toes are pointing back towards you and you're kicking through the right heel. And if you want to lift the right arm, up to the sky. Tummy is switched on. Lovely. Lower the right hand down to the ground. Find your standing splits. From standing splits, finding chair pose. So right foot down to the floor, dropping the hips, arms up by your ears. Remember, shoot the hips back, tummy lifting up towards the spine. And then Uttanasana, deep forward fold, hands to the floor or shins. Release the head completely. As you inhale, nod yes. Exhale, shake the head no. Inhale, yes. And exhale, no. Okay, making a little look at the time here. Okay, let's bring the seat down for boat pose again. So bring the seat down onto the floor. Again, you can have the hands behind the thighs if you wish, or you can have the hands not behind the thighs, but we're just gonna lean back slightly. Keep the spine nice and tall, and again, just find the rectus abdominis switched on again. Again, the feet can stay on the floor if you wish, or you can let the feet float up so the shins and knees are level with the, shins and ankles are level with the knees. I've never been able to do it very well with my legs straight. I think I might just have tight anterior cruciate ligaments on my knees, so I always have to do it with my knees, my shins parallel to the floor. But if you're somebody who could do the legs straight, go ahead, please do. So the hands can be behind the back of the thighs if you wish, or arms lifted up. And you're lengthening through the spine, so we're not collapsing and rounding the spine. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Relax the neck and shoulders. Lovely. Now everybody hold the back of your thighs, just in case you're not already. Hold the back of the thighs, lengthen up through the spine, let's relax the shoulders down. And then we're literally just going to tap the left toes down to the floor, lift the left leg up, right toes down, lift the leg up. And you can just alternate toe tapping, keeping your tummy switched on. And you can either keep the hands lightly touching the back of the thighs, or you can bring the arms out in front of you as you continue to toe tap. Just another couple more, shoulders relaxed if the arms are lifted out in front of you. Tummy squeezing in. Another couple on each side. Lovely. Lower both feet flat on the floor. Just sitting up now, so bring the shoulders over the hips. Reach the arms out in front of you. Now we're going to very slowly lower down our backs to the floor for the count of 6, very slowly. So try and keep the feet on the floor. Let's lengthen up through the spine again. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, begin to lower. 1, 2, 3, use your tummy. 4, now this is going to come to a point where it's a bit sticky, where you feel like you just want to collapse, but try and not collapse through that point. So this is 4, 5, nearly there, and 6. Brilliant, well done if you didn't collapse down. Lower the hands down alongside you. Walk the feet back in underneath the knees. Make yourself nice and comfortable on your back. And then lift the feet up off the floor, so we're going to have the knees over the hips once again. Take a breath in. As you exhale, just draw the belly button towards the spine. Now keep that belly button switched on. Take a breath in again, keep the belly switched on. And then as you exhale, tap the left toes to the upper left corner of your mat. So your foot is stretching out in front of you. Just tap the left toes down to the upper left corner. Make sure that the lower back hasn't arched up, so tummy squeezing in. And then draw the left knee back over the hip. Other side, exhale. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, left. Just continue to do this, so you're tapping the upper corner with your toes. All the while you do this, please keep the tummy squeezing down towards the spine. Even though you're breathing in and out, the tummy stays switched on all the time. You exhale as you lower the toes. Inhale as the knee comes back over the hip. Exhale, toes lower. Inhale, knee over hip. Keep doing this for as long as you can. Just Just make sure the knees stay above the hips, because there's a tendency for the knees to want to wander over the belly. So try and keep the knees over the hips. Every now and again, you might need to relax the shoulders and the neck. Now, if you want to, you can do both feet together. That's a little bit more challenging. If you're going to go for both feet, you might not even touch the floor. It might just perhaps hover above the ground, because we want to avoid the lower back popping up. So you can do both feet together if you wish, or continue with the singles. Just focus, focus, focus. Slow movement is better than just doing lots of fast ones with not very much tummy engagement. We're just going to do 2 more. You're doing so well. I'm ever so proud of you all. This is going straight into core muscles. Lovely. Draw the knees into your chest. Just hug the knees in for a moment. Stretch the back out, the lower back out. You can switch your muscles off, your tummy muscles off at this moment if you like. Just give them a little rest. Let me explain what we're going to do next, whilst you just enjoy that little bit of a pit stop. We're going to bring the hands behind the ears. Just need to move away from the wall. Bring the hands behind the ears. And we're going to, let me tell you first what we're going to do, then we can do it together. So we're going to bring the hands behind the ears. We're going to lift the head and shoulders up, and we're going to extend the right leg as you bring the right elbow to the left knee. So it's very slow sort of bicycles really. And then the right knee comes back, right elbow comes back, and then we do the left side. So super slow bicycles. So bring the hands behind the ears, knees above the hips. Take a breath in. Exhale, squeeze the belly back down to the spine. And keep the belly engaged. As you inhale, lift the head and shoulders up. Exhale, right leg extends, right elbow to left knee. Hold it there just for a second. And then come back to center. Knee and elbow drop back. Exhale, other side. So the leg is just hovering above the ground, not actually touching the floor. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, other side, so right elbow, right leg. So really try and lift the right shoulder up off the floor. This is what, again, is going to start to engage the external and inner obliques, as well as the rectus abdominis to help lift you. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, other side. Again, using the core muscles, not pulling the head up. Inhale, center. Exhale, last time, right elbow to right, the right elbow straight to left knee as you extend the right leg. Now keep the head, the upper body in this position, but we're going to stretch the right arm now to the outside of your left leg. Just hold it here for a couple of breaths. Keep lifting head and shoulders up off the floor. Tummy down to spine. One more breath here. Well done. Bring the knee and the hand back to center. Let's just do the other side. So make sure the tummy is still squeezing down to the spine as you lift the head and shoulders, extend the left leg, left elbow to right knee, and then extend the left arm on the outside edge of your right leg. Tummy squeezing in, just hold here for a couple of breaths. One more breath. Lovely, lower back down. Bring the feet down on the floor. We're just going to have a bridge pose here to stretch everything out. So feet underneath the knees, arms down alongside you. Relax the shoulders. Now you might be able to just perhaps touch the back of your heels. That would be handy, but don't worry too much if you can't quite reach the heels. Take a breath in. As you exhale, push through the feet, press down through the shoulders and lift the hips up for Setu Bandhasana, bridge pose. Now, if you want to, you can interlock the fingers and stretch the knuckles down towards the heels. As you just kind of scoop the shoulders underneath you so the shoulder blades come towards one another. And keep pressing down evenly through the upper arms and the feet. A really nice stretch through the tummy muscles now. Pressing through the feet, both knees pointing forward. So just in case your knees have opened up and flared out to the side, try and keep the legs parallel so the knees stay pointing forward towards the toes. One more breath. Lovely. Release the arms and hands out from underneath you if you did interlock your fingers, and then slowly roll the spine back down to the ground. Okay, hug the knees into the chest, just stretch the lower back out after that little back bend. Keep the right knee where it is, but extend the left leg back along the floor. This time the leg is resting on the floor. We're going to do a reclined twist here. So left hand stays on right knee, stretch the right arm out level with your shoulder along the floor, and turn your right palm down to the ground. No tell I, sorry, flip the right palm up, sorry, towards the ceiling. This just helps slide the shoulder blade down your back slightly. It's a little bit more comfortable. It's then like a little flat plate for your rib cage. So take a breath in, exhale, guide the knee over to your left. And we want to try and keep that right shoulder down on the floor, so you can scoot the left shoulder out from underneath you, and that sometimes helps a little bit. Now you can either keep the right knee bent or maybe even extend the right leg straight, and you might even be able to reach the right toes with your left hand, but you don't have to. It's just an option. You turn and look towards your right arm and right shoulder. This takes the twist all the way up into the base of the skull, so every vertebrae just has a little rotation now. Now relax your belly, relax the belly. Because even this relaxation or coming towards relaxation pose is working through the core muscles. Can you feel how you're twisting at the base of your thoracic spine, the base of your rib cage? So your ribs are going one way and the hips are going the other. And this is, of course, stretching through the core muscles. You might even feel them. Let's take another couple of breaths. Lovely. If you did extend your right leg, just bend your right knee now, and then roll back onto your spine and slide the right leg back down along the floor. Let's do the other side. So left knee into the chest, right hand on left knee, and then left arm out level with the floor with your palm turned up to the sky. And then guide the left knee over to your right. I'm trying to keep the left shoulder down on the floor, so you might want to scoot the right shoulder out from underneath you, so you sort of widen across the upper back. Then if you want to, you can extend the left leg so it's out to the right hand side. I can't do that because I've got it all in my place on this side, but if you're going to extend the left leg out to the right, see if you can hold the toes with your right hand. And then everybody turn your head, look towards the left arm. It's nice to close the eyes here, so if you're happy doing that, just close the eyes. And relax, relax. If you have extended your leg, you should maybe even feel a nice deep stretch coming down the outside edge of your left hip and left thigh. This is the classic IT band stretch. Again, a lot of tightness there for lots of people. Creates a lot of hip and lower back problems. Another couple of breaths. Lovely. If you've extended your left leg, just bend the left leg, bend the left knee, and then roll onto your spine, everybody. And then extend the left leg down along the floor. Come and find Shavasana. So you might need to perhaps just adjust your position slightly. So we bring the hips and the shoulders back in line with one another. Let the legs just stretch down to the end of the mat. Your legs are apart, so the top of thighs aren't touching, and then we can just let the toes rock out to the side and turn both palms up and have the arms away from the side of the body. Close the eyes if you're comfortable to do that. And everybody take a deep breath in. Breathe out through the mouth. Again, deep breath in. Let it go from the mouth. And one more time. And then let everything relax. So your skin and your muscles just fall off your bones. Notice how when you let go of your outer body, when you release the skin and the muscles, notice how your inner body, all your organs just seem to spread out inside of you. This final resting pose is a really important part, not just of yoga, but to help bring some balance into our lives, where you actively encourage everything inside of you just to soften and spread. Because as we go through our daily life, we absorb whatever's around us, so whether or not that is negativity or something stressful, but we absorb others' energy. And that energy is absorbed down into our soft tissues, and that's what creates this sort of inner tension. So it's really important that we just take a few minutes just to let everything go. Physically, let everything go. So relax everything physically. And also then you can also let go of anything mental or emotional. All of this stuff just stays buried inside of us and creates some problems. So if you have time, please stay longer. Just stay here as long as you like, but if you need to get to work or whatever, then whenever you wish, just very slowly roll onto your left-hand side. And the reason why I'm suggesting you roll onto your left is just rolling onto the left just presses the left rib cage into your left heart a little bit. And that just sort of stimulates your heart, ready to press yourself back up again. So if you want to, come up into any comfortable seating pose, but said you are very welcome to stay laying down on the floor if you have the time today, and just have a really lovely long relaxation. You totally deserve it. Our well-being needs it. And if you're upright, stack the shoulders over the hips, and keep the eyes closed if you're happy to do that. And let's just bring the palms together in front of the chest. Fingertips, palms lightly touching, shoulders and neck relaxed. We're going to finish the day with one round of Om. So if you fancy a little bit of chanting, we're just going to do it just the once. So we take a deep breath in and we exhale, we make the sound Om on the out breath. So let's try together. Inhale. Om. Just stay in silence after your Om. The sound of Om is vibrating inside of you, like a little tuning fork just shaking up your cells. And it's said to be the first sound that was ever heard on earth. May the peace of yoga stay with you. I wish you peace in your hearts. I wish you peace in your minds, and I wish you peace in your bodies always. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. So as I shimmy my way forward, I just turn the recording off. You might hear it say, recording finished.